Tiger Woods says he was one. Lindsay Lohan was accused of being one. Charlie Sheen may be one. We're talking about sex addicts. It's a term that's received a lot of attention in the media lately. Some say it's real, others say it's a real good excuse.
These days, Brent McNamara works on the computer a lot, but he always has to keep himself in check. Brent is a recovering porn addict. For 10 years, he spent almost every waking moment looking at internet porn.
My nickname, not my real name, but my nickname was very well known, in porn circles. This addiction completely took over my life. And I'm not kidding when I say 24/7.
The addiction started shortly after Brent enrolled in school to be a pastor. First, it was the occasional magazine or movie, but when the internet became popular, Brent got hooked.
Before those days, you had considerable risk, if you wanted to go into an adult bookstore. You had some considerable risk of being seen by someone that you didn't want to see.
It became more than just looking at porn. Brent took part in live strip shows and even hired prostitutes.
I wasted a lot of years, really threw them away and just really messed up my life and hurt a lot of people.
Bill Larson knows that feeling. He's also a recovering sex addict.
I couldn't control it worth a damn, and I wanted to.
Sex consumed his life. At one point, Bill had more than 10 partners at the same time. His breaking point came when they all found out about each other.
I think that people want to make a joke of it, but it's no joke. It is truly a crippling disease.
Dr. Mary Ann Layden agrees. She believes sex can be an addiction, similar to drug addiction.
It's not the putting it in your body through your mouth, through your vein, that produces the addiction. It's the getting hooked on the brain reaction, knowing it hurts you, and doing it anyway.
2 new studies are offering evidence suggesting that sex may indeed be an addiction. The first found differences in DNA were linked to sexual behavior in young adults. Those with a variant of the DRD4 gene were more likely to have one-night stands and affairs. The second study found that non-addicted people who looked at porn images had similar brain responses to cocaine addicts who looked at images of people taking the drug.
We know that the sex drive is probably one of the most powerful things that we have on the face of the earth.
Previous editions of the American Psychiatric Association's Diagnostic Manual haven't recognized sex addiction as a mental disorder. The next edition, which comes out in 2013, will classify both porn and sex addiction as hypersexual disorder. Some wonder if this official label will justify cheating among so-called addicts.
It's not an excuse that says you get a pass on it.
Then there's the dilemma of treating sex addiction. Should doctors tell addicts to say no to all sex like they do with drugs? When treating porn addiction, Layden recommends patients set up an internet server that blocks porn at the server level and install accountability software that generates a list of all websites visited. This information should then be forwarded to an accountability coach. Brent is now an assistant pastor at his church. He leads an addiction recovery group and even wrote a book about his experience. Whether it's bad behavior or a true addiction, these men are happy they were able to end it and move on with their lives.
Dr. Layden's research even suggests the earlier young people are exposed to pornography, the more likely they are to be involved in a sexual assault. But it's very difficult to get approval to conduct studies about it because of the known damaging effects of pornography on the viewers.